Good morning, students. Let us continue the lesson. Chapter 2 is Matter Around Us Pure. So till now we were discussing about mixtures, right? We started the lesson with pure substances and mixtures. Then we classified mixtures again into different types. Then we again have seen how to classify different types, how to separate different types of mixtures. Depending on their nature, we can use different separation techniques. That also we have seen in detail. Now again coming back to pure substances. Let us classify pure substances also into two types. Before that, what do we mean by a pure substance? A pure substance is made up of single kind of matter. If a substance consists of single kind of particles, we say that type of substance as a pure substance. We have seen examples like salt, isn't it? Sugar, all these are pure substances. So let us classify pure substances again into two types. Elements and compounds. Pure substances can be classified into two types, elements and compounds. These elements are, the word element was given by the scientist Robert Boyle. Then a definition was given for an element by another scientist, that is Anthony L. Lavoisier. He was the first one who defined an element. So according to him, an element is a basic form of matter which cannot be divided into simpler components. What is an element? Element is the basic form of matter which cannot be divided into simpler substances by chemical reactions. You know many examples for elements. Yes, hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, like this. We arranged the elements in a periodic table. More than 115 elements are known now. Yes. So all these are coming under elements. And what is an element? Element is the basic form of matter which cannot be divided into simpler substances by chemical reactions. That is the definition for element. The word element was first used by Robert Boyle, whereas an established definition was given by Anthony L. Lavoisier. Okay. Now, what about the compound? About compound we will see in the next class. So, pure substances can be classified into two types, elements and compounds. And we have seen what is an element, what are the examples for elements. Now, elements can again be classified into three types. Metals, metalloids and non-metals. This from lower grades we are learning. Yes, you know examples for metals, what are their physical characteristics. Similarly, examples for non-metals and what is their physical characteristics. Just we can recollect the physical properties of metals. They are lustrous, isn't it? Metals are lustrous because they have a shiny appearance. That is why they are said to be lustrous. And most of the metals are silvery grey or golden yellow in color. You can see the elements that we use in home, like iron or copper, then gold, silver, yes, aluminium. All these you can see either they are silvery grey or golden yellow in color. Then they are good conductors of heat and electricity. That is why the cooking vessels are made up of aluminium or steel. Steel is an alloy of iron, that is also made up of iron only. And we use in electrical circuit copper wires. Why? Because copper is a metal and it is a good conductor of electricity. Then they are malleable, ductile and sonorous. What do you mean by malleable nature of metals? As we can beat into thin sheets. The property of the metal by which they can be beaten into thin sheets is known as malleability. You can see aluminium foils for wrapping food items. Yes, similarly silver foils we use for chocolates and all. Yes, so these are all showing the property of malleability. Similarly, what is ductility? Think about the copper wires. So we can say the property by which metal can be drawn into thin wires, that is known as ductility. So metals are malleable, ductile and sonorous. Next, what do we mean by sonorous nature of metals? You know, when metals are struck on a hard surface, they can produce a ringing sound, that is known as sonorous nature. For that, let us think about a steel plate. If we throw the steel plate, if it is down, we can hear a ringing sound. You can try it. Okay, that is known as sonorous nature. And examples for metals are also written here. What is Au? Au is the symbol of gold. Then Ag, symbol of silver. Then copper Cu, sodium Na, potassium K. So like this all are aluminium. Then you can write many examples. Aluminium, mercury. And mercury is the only metal which is existing in the liquid form. Mercury, Hg, is the only metal which is existing in the liquid form. All other metals are in the solid state. Most of the metals in the nature are in solid state, whereas mercury is existing in the liquid form. Similarly, you can think about two more metals, that is gallium and cesium. These have very low melting point. Normally metals possess very high melting and boiling point, whereas the metals like gallium and cesium, if we put on our palm, they melt. That means our body temperature is almost 37 degrees Celsius. So they cannot exist in the solid state at 37 degrees Celsius. At 37 they will melt into the liquid form. Okay, so that about metals. Next is we can talk about non-metals. Then we will see metalloids. What are non-metals? Non-metals, you know many examples. The best example is the carbon. Yes. Similarly, all the gases like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, then chlorine, bromine, iodine, all these are examples for non-metals, and they have completely opposite property from metals. So what we can say, are they lustrous? No, they are not lustrous, or they possess non-lustrous nature. They are not shiny in appearance, they are dull in their appearance, and they are not very hard, they are very soft. Then what we can say, they exist in variety of colors. Hydrogen, helium, helium, nitrogen, oxygen, all these are gases. Yes, so they don't have any color. Then they are poor conductors of heat and electricity. Wood is the basic component of wood is carbon, and it is a non-conductor of electricity. Similarly, they are the plastic. We can see cooker and all. Their handle is having a plastic coating, isn't it? So that is plastic. The basic component of plastic also, if we check, it is carbon. And since they are poor conductor, we are using this plastic as the handles of cooker and all. Then they are non-malleable and non-ductile. If we try to or if we struck with a hammer and all, they will become powder. So we can say they are brittle in nature. They break into powdery form. That nature is known as brittle nature. They are non-sonorous, non-malleable, non-ductile. Cannot be beaten into thin sheets. Or what is ductility? Non-ductile means cannot be drawn into wires. Similarly, they cannot produce a ringing sound when struck on a hard surface. So we can write they are non-sonorous in nature. And the examples also we have seen. Okay. Then here also one general question is there. That is the only non-metal which is existing in the liquid form. What is the answer? Bromine. The only non-metal which is existing in the liquid form is bromine. Bromine is stored in lab and all as in the liquid form only. Liquid bromine you can see in the laboratory. Then the next one, metalloids. Yes, they are in the middle of metals and non-metals. So, like this, what we can say, they possess properties in between metals and non-metals. They show properties in between metals and non-metals. So, we can say they are not good conductor, but they are not non-conductors also. They can conduct electricity and heat to some extent. Examples for metalloids: silicon, germanium, boron. Boron, silicon, germanium. These elements are examples for metalloids, and silicon and germanium are used to produce semiconductors. Semiconductor, that means they can conduct to an extent, isn't it? So these are the elements which are examples for metalloids. Okay. So today we have seen the classification of pure substances. Pure substances can be classified into two types, elements and compounds. Then elements can further be classified into three types, metals, metalloids and non-metals. Their general characteristics also we have seen. Thank you.